New update. This one.
I think proceed as discussed in executive session, Mr. Chair.
Yes, the motion on the table is. The motion on the table is to proceed as discussed in executive session. Can I get a second?
Second.
That motion's been properly seconded. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Next, we have the item B, 6B, Dawson's Pond.
Mr. Chairman,
Yep.
I move that we request the legal department to get an Attorney General's opinion prior to any further action on this item.
And that's the motion on the table. It's been properly seconded. Discussion. All in favor of that motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Next we have is item 6C.
Mr. Chairman,
Yep.
regarding this matter, based on the lack of sufficient and/or specific information that council was provided or not provided, I move that we reinstate the employee to their former position, remove the disciplinary action from their personnel file, and include back pay to their previous position.
Second.
Yeah, immediately.
There's a motion that's been properly seconded. Discussion. All in favor of that motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
That motion carries. Item 6D, personnel item.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I move that we reorganize the clerk's office to include rewriting the position descriptions to be staffed with 2 employees.
Second.
That's the motion on the table. It's been properly seconded. Discussion. Mr. Jackson.
I move that we advertise the position and staff the office properly with 3 employees.
Second.
Okay, that's the second, that's the substitute motion. Any discussion? All in favor of the substitute motion signify by raising your hand.
In favor, Dixon, Jackson, Rush, Livingston, Dickerson.
Any opposed, like sign?
Opposed, Rose, Malinowski, Pierce, Manning.
That motion carries. All right. Next we have, that's all the items with
Mr. Chair.
Yep.
You may recall on item 40B.
Oh, yeah,
That
that's
was
right.
deferred to after executive session.
Yeah,
That
that's
was an
right.
item from the report of the Transportation Ad hoc Committee, and an item read as following: the Transportation Ad hoc Committee met February 25th and reviewed the TPAC, what the TPAC presented in the form of a revised role and responsibilities moving forward. The committee recommendation was to schedule a council work session with the aid of facilitators to outline any revisions in the role of TPAC, which help us understand what the needs, wants, and desires as it relates to the TPAC. That was committee's recommendation, Mr. Chair.
Okay, you heard the committee's recommendation. Any discussion?
Can you summarize that again?
Okay, say that.
What we want to do is, before we move forward on their task that the recommendation they gave us, we want to have a work session to talk about what it is that we need and want to desire from them. Yeah.
Okay, you heard the committee's recommendation. Any discussion? Ms. Dickerson.
When you say meet with them, who's gonna meet with them? The chair, the vice chair,
No.
the committee, the council? Who's gonna
We
meet?
we meet, this motion is for us to meet with council, not with them.
Huh?
It's for a council work session, not to meet with
So
TPAC.
you're asking for a council work session to determine the
Well,
roles and responsibilities
What we
of the
need and want and
TPAC?
desire from the TPAC, yeah.
That's not already discussed. I mean, may I ask a
Let me
question?
explain to you why.
Oh, Jesus.
They presented some recommendations to the committee,
They who?
the TPAC,
All right. They,
per our request
wait a
earlier.
minute. They being the TPAC.
Yeah, presented recommendations
To
to the TPAC committee.
the TPAC,
I'm sorry, to the ad hoc committee.
to the
Transportation.
ad hoc
We
committee.
in the ad hoc committee just simply saying, we recommend we have a work session to talk about what we need and want and desire before we consider those recommendations from the TPAC.
From the TPAC.
Yes.
Write that down. We need to schedule a work session. Okay, you heard the committee's recommendation. Any more discussion? Mr. Jackson, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so we're having a workshop to discuss their requests.
To be clear on before we talk about their request, we're gonna be clear on what we need and want and desire from them. We need to, we need to be sure about what we want from them before we talk about.
Yeah, but we already had a discussion of what we want from them. I mean, we had a meeting, we have an extended meeting on what we wanted from them. I thought we were clear what we wanted.
But no, it wasn't based on the, it had nothing to do with the current, what they submitted to us recently.
Well, I mean, we can consider what they submit to us. So I don't think we need a workshop to consider what they submit to us. I mean, when would that workshop take place, and how long would the process take place?
I can't.
I mean, we are pressed with the revenue department to do something, and we're going to do a workshop. I don't know when that workshop will take place, and then from that workshop we have a recommendation, and we'll go back to the TPAC, and then 3 months later we haven't done anything.
Well, that's your opinion.
And that's what happens. And that's what's been happening. We've been delaying and dragging this thing out for the longest. We need to move forward. I mean, we're a council, we can make a decision. Just make a decision and move forward. We're going to have a workshop to discuss it. It's like we don't know what we're doing, and no wonder we're having all these problems. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Miss Dickerson.
Okay. Oh, Jesus, I don't know what. First of all, hold up 1 second. I got this in my head. I just got to pull it out right. When now we're having this work. Let me ask one question. Are we having this workshop to find out the role and responsibilities of the TPAC and the ad hoc committee, and this come out of the request from DOR? Is this where this originated from? I mean, why are we having this? I mean, it got to be a reason. Can somebody explain that to me?
Mr. Chairman, would you like me to take a stab at that?
Yeah, I'm gonna try again in a minute too, but go ahead.
I'll wait on you.
Go ahead.
So, we've had some concerns. The Transportation Ad Hoc Committee, I believe, sometimes has some concerns. And there's been, I think the TPAC has expressed concerns about understanding what their role is. And I believe that what the TPAC committee came to consensus to make this recommendation was that we really needed to take a deep breath, step back, and now that we've had the TPAC constituted for 2 years, that we've seen what they've done and not done.
Not done.
And we've all had a lot of lessons learned. And that rather than going, we started by going down item by item of things that they had brought out of a work session that they did. And there were a lot of questions item by item. And I think what the chair of the TPAC, who was at the ad hoc committee meeting, and the members of the ad hoc committee started realizing was we didn't have a view, at least as of the beginning of 2016, as to what we, the council, wanted, needed, and desired from that committee. And to take a step back, to do a work session for us as a body to decide what it was that we would like for that committee ultimately to be about. Then we could figure out the detail by detail what it is, because we were going detail by detail and realizing that we didn't have a big picture to it. And that if we got together as a council and looked at this point, what it was that we wanted, needed, and desired from an advisory committee, oversight committee, or whatever we might want to call it. We didn't even know what to call it when we weren't sure what we really wanted it to do at this point. And so I think that is the chairman's bringing that recommendation from the committee to schedule a work session that's facilitated for us as a council, 11 members, to come to consensus as to what it was that we wanted, desired, needed from that group, and then the ad hoc committee working with them or working without them could determine specifics to what they would and would not do. Did I do all right, Mr. Chairman? Well, you weren't in the meeting, man. I was dressing that to the chairman.
Okay, Ms. Dickerson. you still have-
Mr. Chairman, if I mischaracterized that, I apologize.
You did not.
Well, ain't nothing else I can say.
All right, any more discussion? Mr. Jackson.
One more time. Let me start at this again. Several months back, sometime last year, I made a motion to strengthen the TPAC similar to the Planning Commission. We had a long debate, a long discussion, and we decided to give them an ultimatum. Take it or leave it. Whatever we said initially, that's what this council said. Either take it and go by what we told you to do or leave it. Now I'm hearing we have to have a workshop. After we had a lengthy discussion, we gave them ultimatum, and now we're coming back now to discuss through a workshop on what to do. So I'm confused. I mean, why did we tell them what to do the first time, and now we're deciding we want to revisit? Are you saying we were incorrect in what we did the first time and telling them what to do? We're going to reconsider it? What are we doing? We already did what we said. I know they made a request. I don't think we need a workshop to discuss their requests. You had a meeting to discuss it already. I don't see where we need a workshop. This is just something to drag this out for the next 3 months. And I have concern in doing that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. You heard the committee's recommendation. All in favor of that motion signify by raising your hand.
In favor, Malinowski, Pierce, Rush, Livingston, Manning.
All opposed, like sign.
Opposed, Rose, Dixon, Jackson, Dickerson.
That motion carries. Next, we have motion period. Item 43A. Resolution to support Sierra's law. Can I get unanimous consent? Motion for,
So moved.
got a motion. It's been properly second. Discussion. All in favor of that motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Item 43B, the item will go to DNS.
Which is that?
I'm sorry. That's Ms. Dixon's neighborhood improvement. We'll go to DNS, Special Purpose District. Item 43C will go to ANF. 43D will go to Transportation Ad Hoc. That's Mr. Jackson's. I move that Richland County Council do an immediate assessment of PDT contract. Oh, can you see it?
A clarification on that motion. I understand revenue gave us 30 days to do certain things, right? By the time this goes to committee and all this is discussed, 30 days has been passed.
When is the next transportation ad hoc? When is that typical?
March 10th?
When was that letter? Okay.
So we have time?
Yeah, it'll be there beforehand.
Okay, as long as it's done before.
All right.
Okay.
Transportation, item E, unanimous consent.
So moved.
Okay, got a motion. It's been properly second. And this is for the ballet. All in favor of that motion signify by,
Is that the $5,000 for the ballet?
no, this
It's
is
just
a resolution.
Oh, the resolution.
To
Yeah.
give to them when they do the event.
Yep. You got it, Mr. Manning? I mean, Mr. Malinowski? Okay, all in favor of that motion for unanimous consent, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carried.
If I vote no, they
Chair,
can't do it.
entertain a motion for adjournment. Got a motion for adjournment, it's been properly,
Chair, if I vote no, they can't do it.
Decisions on revenue, what to hire, what to do.
I don't care who it is.
which one? Yeah, move the executive session, yeah. All in favor of the motion for adjournment, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries.